I know it's not on the screen, right? I'll get it. I know. Okay. So, I want it titled just like that. And then the date for you guys. So, 5.2 multiplying decimals. And then the date, 1/5 of 21. Right? Yep, 1/5. And if you want to make it even bigger on your screen, you can pin the picture of me sharing and then go up to that grid box on the top right corner and click it, and it'll put a slash through it, and then it'll make your picture bigger. Okay? But that's as big as I can get it for you. So make sure you line up your decimals first. So let's look at this one. If we have something like this given to us, there's 6.4 in parentheses and then 6.88 in parentheses. Those parentheses are just meaning that we are multiplying those together, you guys. So instead of the dot, you have parentheses. And if we were to write that to solve it, which we won't yet, just write it down, it would look like that. So we have 6.4, and then we have 6.88, and we have our decimal lined up. Okay? And as you can see, it being lined up like that, we have that little empty space right here, right above the 8. So if you need to put something there, which, you know, you might visually for yourself, you can just add a 0. It will not change that 6.4, okay? Once you have that written down and we're ready to solve, let me know. There we go. So remember, when we're multiplying, we're going to start with this first, the bottom number, right, in the ones column, right? And we have to multiply this 8 by every number up top, right? So we do 8 times 0, which would give us 0, right? Then we have 8 times 4, which would give us 32. So our 2 goes here. Our 3 goes up there. Then we're going to do 8 times 6, which gives us 48, right? And then we have to add the 3. So 48, 49, 50, 51, right? So we have a 51. Okay. Now, remember, as you see, I'm not worried about that decimal point yet. So let's not worry about the decimal point yet. Okay, now let's look at this 8, right? We're going to start in the tens this time on that bottom. So remember, we're going to put our number in this row. We're not going to do anything in that ones column anymore. So 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 4 was 32. So we have a 2. Again, we're carrying a 3, but I'm going to write it again so we know we're doing it again. Then we have 8 times 6, which was the 48, right? And then we added 3, and that's where we got that 51. So it's 51 again. So it's lined up like that. And now we have one more number. We have to do that 6, right? Okay. So 6 times 0 is 0, and we're starting right. Oh wait, did I line those up funky? Oh, they look funny on here. Ah, it should be under. Am I on the right? No, it should be under this one. Okay, I kind of lined mine up crooked. I apologize. So we should be in our next row over, right? So we started here, then we were here, now we're under here. Okay, sorry, I lined it up funky. I'll do it better on the next one. So we have 6 times 0 is 0, so our 0 goes there. You realize that I lined that up funny. It's been 2 weeks, guys. I haven't done any math, okay? All right, and then we have 6 times 4. That should give us our 24, so we have our 4. Carry the 2. Then we do 6 times 6, which gives us 36, plus 2 is 32. 8. So now we have everything we need here. Remember, when we get here, we add, right? Once we have we do all that multiply, now we can add. So we bring down this 0. We go 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 5 plus 4 is 9. Plus 1 is 10. Carry the 1. And we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 with that 1, right? Carry the 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. So now we have this big number, right? We got to do our decimal. And the way we figure that out is, well, does anybody know, first off? Anybody know where I put my decimal point or how I determine that?
Put it in the middle.
In the middle? Okay, well, that could mean a bunch of different places. Anybody else have a suggestion?
Behind the 0.
Okay, so let's see. I like your answers, guys, but I'm going to tell you. Okay, Ryan, between 3 and 2. Let's see. So when we put our decimal, we don't just bring it down like we did in other things, right? In multiplying, you have to count how many are here. So how many places are behind the decimal point? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? There's 4 places total behind that decimal point. So then we start here and we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And it should be right there. So when you're multiplying, you have to count how many decimal places, how many numbers are behind it in your problem. That makes sense? I know it's a little different than what we've done before, but that is how you place it. Okay? So we don't just bring it down. We don't just say, oh, there's 2 places in each one, so it's 2 places. That's a good guess, but it's not that. You have to add all the places. I did not hit record again. Okay, so 1.3 times 0.13. Doesn't matter if they both have parentheses like the top. It does not matter. So write it out like this. Line up your decimals. This one's cool because you don't have to add any zeros. Lines up perfectly. We're good to go. Let's look at this one. All right. This one will be a little easier. Probably don't even need your chart for this one. Let me hide this little guy. He's annoying me. Hide. Okay. There we go. All right. So remember, we're going to start with our bottom number right here. 3 times 3 should give us 9. Then we're going to have 3 times 1. That should give us 3. I'm going to line them up. Make sure I line them up right. Then, so we have that first one. Now we can go to the 0. 0 times 3. 0. Ugh, I can't write. My hand has not woke up yet from 2 weeks. And then 0 times 1 is 0. So that's all we need on that one. Bring down our 9. 3 plus 0 is 3. You can bring down the 0 if you want. Doesn't really matter. But now we have to look at our decimal points. So we have 1 here and 1 here. So that's 1 and 2, right? There's 2 numbers total behind the decimal point. So we always start at the back and go 1, 2. Okay? So on that case, I would have your 0. It just looks a little better. But even if you wrote just 0.39, it's the same thing. Does that one make sense, you guys? Anybody stumped or anything? Questions? Anything? Throw them at me. So let's look at our last one. Okay. So this one looks a little different. We have our traditional times for our multiplication sign, right? So 0.2 times 0.66. Written out, it's going to look like that. And as you can see, we have that empty space right there. So I would just fill that in with the 0. Let me know once you have that written down. Let's look at it. Okay. So we are starting with that first or last number, whatever you want to say, right on the bottom. So 6 times 0 gives us 0. 6 times 2 gives us 12. So we put our 2 there and carry the 1. Then we can go 6 times 0 is 0, but you have that 1, so you add 1 to it. I know it looks spaced out, but I'm just lining it up underneath the rows, guys, so don't be wondering. Alright, so let's look at this guy. We're going to look at the next 6. 6 times 0 is 0. Remember, we're in that column now. Then we have 6 times 0, which is 0. What?
You forgot the 6 times 2.
Oh, did I? I sure the heck did. Okay. Okay, so we got 6 times 0, 0, right? 6 times 2 is 12. I apologize. This will be a 2, you guys. And again, we're going to carry that 1. I cross off the other one, put the new one up there. Sorry. All right. Now we do our 6 times 0, which is 0, plus our 1. So there should be a 1 there. So remember, that's a 2. That's a funky 2, but that's a 2. Okay. That's a little better. Now let's do our 0. This one should be fairly easy, right? 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. And 0 times 0 is 0. So make sure we have them in the right rows. We add them up. So let's bring down our 0. 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 1 plus 0 is 1. I'm going to bring down the 0 just because. And we have 1 place, 2 place, 3 place, 4 places total after the decimal. So we start in the back and we go 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it should look like that. 0.1320. If that decimal point was anywhere else, it would be wrong. So you need to make sure you count how many numbers you have total behind those decimals in the problem. Any questions?